of cheating just last season. He said he cheated, spider tack, called him out. And now Josh Donaldson and Garrett Cole are teammates. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Yankees also get a minor league catcher in the deal, but Josh Donaldson coming to the Bronx to play third base for the Yankees. Welcome in former Marlins president, host of Nothing Personal, David Sampson. David, I can't help but say it's nothing personal, but Garrett Cole and Josh Donaldson are now teammates. What are we doing?
Yeah, they're going to be just fine. So there are certain instances when we would go to the clubhouse and speak to a player about a trade we were making or about a player we were going to sign. But it was when, let's say, Stanton got hit in the face by Fiers. Hey, are you okay if we acquire Fiers? Stanton says no. We say, really? Are you sure? And then we go ahead and don't acquire Fiers. But those examples are very few and far between. Cole and Donaldson will speak once they get to Tampa, and they're going to be just fine. I don't think that's the big story of this trade, though. The big story is Josh Donaldson, he's not the player he used to be on the field. It is a tremendous amount of money that the Yankees are taking on. They bailed out the Minnesota Twins here, but it cost them. That minor league catcher, that's a big give. The shortstop is a big give, and the Yankees got to get rid of a headache at the same time in Gary Sanchez.
Okay, so how would you grade the trade then?
So we do this all the time on the Q. I'm going to try one more time for all the producers. It is impossible to grade MLB trades the day they happen. Can we say that, given when they're young players
Just
involved?
on the surface then.
Okay. I'm going to do it just on the surface, and I'm only doing it for you, Dermish, not for Rob, not for Port, not for anyone else. Just for you, okay?
Thank you.
This is an A-plus trade for the Minnesota Twins. When you have to cut payroll and you've got to move players and you can get back serviceable guys like a Gio, that's something that is just a bonus. And he's under control, not just this year but next year. So for the Twins, A+. Yankees, so far it's a B. It's a B because Donaldson is going to be really good in the clubhouse, notwithstanding the issue with Cole, which is going to be fine. I'm just not so sure that you can expect to see him play over 135 to 140 games at third base for the Yankees, and they gave up quite a piece of their depth in Gio.
Would you have made this trade if you were Brian Cashman?
I'm getting what I hope to be as a catcher of the future, so I'm sort of stocking my system and looking forward to that. I'm finally getting rid of Gary Sanchez, who I'm sick and tired of talking about. Not me. This is Brian Cashman talking. Every single year, he's great. He hits home runs. He strikes out. He hits 204. Oi, I'm tired of it already. So I moved him along. But it's definitely a big piece I'm giving up in Gio. On the other hand, I'm getting the shortstop I really liked. So when that trade happened between Texas and Minnesota, I actually did not see Minnesota turning him around and moving him because that's a perfect player for the Twins. But when you've got to move money, you have to attach players to do it.
How about Isaiah Kinderphilipe in this deal? That might be an underrated piece of the deal for the Yankees, playing shortstop.
Well, remember, that's something the Yankees have depth. They have prospect depth at shortstop. And so he's someone who can play. He's a major league. He's a great defender. He can't hit a lick. But the Yankees issue, now you're going to remember and say, you know what? The Yankees had problems hitting. They weren't scoring runs. It's an issue with the lineup. My issue with the Yankees has always been their pitching. When you roll out Stanton and Judge in the middle of your order, I'm okay with that to get you to October. But to get through October, they need more pitching. That still has not been addressed. For all the Yankee fans who now think, that's it, we're not getting Correa, I'm not sure that this trade had anything to do with that fact at all.
Okay, so that's still certainly in the mix to get Correa. Of course, there's been talk about Freddie Freeman going to the Bronx. And I'm not going to ask you if he's going to go there and end up there, but obviously that would trump this deal if Freddie Freeman were to sign with the Yankees, play first base, DH, what have you. The question I'll ask right now is you got Kyle Higashioka at catcher. Are you standing pat with him? Is he going to be your starter going forward into opening day?
You know, you shouldn't underestimate him. The position of catcher's changed a little bit. And I'm very interested in someone who's not just a good receiver, but someone who is able to handle the pitching staff. I'm really not looking out of that position if I'm the Yankees for a huge amount of offense. And Gary Sanchez, as you recall, is a pretty big defensive liability. To say nothing of the fact that he was really sort of an offensive liability, too. I can get anyone to hit 204, and I'm making that up, but I bet you I'm pretty close to what he generally hits because I'm on the air so quickly. I did not see what he hit last year or the year before, but I'm saying somewhere around that. Rob, I can't hear you. Was it around 204? Something like that. So I'm okay with him, but again, check out the minor league catcher who they got. No one's heard of him, but people in baseball certainly have.
Kyle Higashioka, $181 last season. But
What's
you're right,
the big difference between $181 and 203?
I mean, but you're right, though. Gary Sanchez was a defensive liability, led the league with pass balls, had trouble handling the pitching staff. I mean, we know Higashioka was Garrett Cole's personal catcher. So, you know, I mean, he was playing and getting playing time. There certainly, look, I'm a fan of Kyle Higashioka. I'm just wondering if Yankee fans are comfortable with him behind home plate.
You also have to remember that Sanchez was in arbitration. He was going to make, let's say, $7 to $8 million. And the question is, how many years in a row can you continue to pay Sanchez millions of dollars for a lack of production? I cannot believe the Twins. That's the price, right? You take on Donaldson's got 2 more years left. He's probably owed $48 to $50 million over 2 years. And you're taking on Sanchez this year. They're going to try desperately to move him. That's for sure. I'm not sure who's going to take Sanchez at that rate, though.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.